appreciate it. And everyone at Al Jazeera wishes you safety. That is Mansour Showman in Gaza for us.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to return to some breaking news. An Al Jazeera team has been hit in an Israeli strike in southern Lebanon. Journalists Carmen and Eli Brakhya were injured and have been taken to hospital. They were travelling in a car when they were hit. Now, journalists from Reuters and AFP were also hit in Alma Al Shaab near the Israeli border. One of the journalists was killed. Well, Ali Hashim joins us live from Alma Al Shaab in Lebanon. And Ali, what more can you tell us about what has been unfolding there over the last hour?
Well, Tom, there was a convoy of journalists. We were all together. So first of all, we went to Marwahin and we were covering from there. Then when we started hearing shelling, we separated. The team that included Carmen Joukhadar, our correspondent in Arabic, Al Jazeera Arabic, our cameraman, Brakhya, and colleagues from French agency, AFP, and from Reuters. They went separately to an open area, actually, but it was a bit high, so it was overlooking the whole scene. While myself and my colleague Rai, the cameraman, we went to the village, inside the village, and we were live on TV all the time. Then there was this direct shell that hit the team, and one of the colleagues was killed. Our colleagues Carmen and Eli were injured. Other colleagues from other agencies were injured, and it was clear that they identified themselves clearly. And whoever is observing or monitoring the border, and of course the Israeli army is monitoring the border day and night. And before launching this shell on a news teams crews that were clearly wearing their flak jackets, their helmets with press written on them. It was horrible. I mean, they identified themselves. They were clear. They were clearly journalists, but they were hit by Israeli shell.
We're watching, as you're speaking, we're seeing footage from the scene. It isn't live. It has been pre-recorded in the last half hour or so. But can you tell us what is happening there now? Are you still there?
No, we are now on our way to the hospital in the city of Tyre to, of course, be with our colleagues there. But, I mean, the situation was tense the whole day, and we've been covering this on Al Jazeera.
Yes.
And as journalists, we were trying to be together all the time, just to, at least to be safe together.
Yes.
And every time we are in somewhere, we check on each other. So actually, even the colleague who was killed in this attack, we had a conversation before just separating, and he said he's going to assess the risks, and that's why he went to that place, and the others followed him. And he wasn't. I mean, on the borders directly. He was far from the border. He was on a small hill overlooking the whole place. They were clear with their cars, with their cameras, and there were, of course, foreign and local crews. They work for international agencies, but some of them are Lebanese and some of them are foreigners.
Yeah.
So this is the situation, and this is what I can say.
Yeah, like you say, they were clearly marked as being from the media, weren't they? Was there any warning at all leading up to this?
Well, I don't claim to know if there was a warning because I wasn't there. As I told you, I separated from them. But it was clear that because there is a shot by Reuters showing the moment of the shell attack, the moment the shell was launched. And it was clear there was nothing before. There was no kind of warning shell, for example, that hit around them, close to them, in a way that they will be warned, they will be alarmed, and then they will pack and leave. There was nothing like that. At least this is what we saw in the video. Now, we're going to see our colleagues. We're going to talk to them. Hopefully, they will be in a better situation. And, of course, we will explain more details on what happened. But this crew was together all day, and the Israelis were seeing this crew all day because we were on the road all the time, back and forth. So it wasn't that this team just came, you know. I mean, we were identified clearly. So as I told you, we separated them, and this team was hit directly. And they were all identified. They all had their flak jackets on them. And of course, our team also, I mean, there were SNGs, there were equipment. I mean, whoever knows ABCs of you know, public affairs will know that these are journalists, because they were clearly journalists. There was nothing that could really be vague about their identity. So it was an intentional targeting, just like what happened with our colleague Sherina Maakli in Palestine less than a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Ali, I just want to clarify one thing really quickly. Do you think that this was an airstrike, or you said it was a tank shelling?
Most probably this was a tank shelling, because it was a shell that hit. When we arrived there at the place, there was a car burning. We saw the ambulances. The body of our colleague who was killed was probably still there. The ambulance just transferred him now to the hospital. May his soul rest in peace. And he was, I don't want to give the name right now.
We understand that, Ali. Yeah.
First of all, maybe his family needs to know, first of all. I don't know if his family was informed. He was a professional that knew him for years, because we've covered together several wars before. This is not the first war.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Ali. That's Ali Hashim for us in Alma Al Shaab. If you're just joining us, there's breaking news this hour. An Israeli strike has killed one journalist and injured 3 others in southern Lebanon. Well, Al Jazeera's Lebanon bureau chief, Mazen Ibrahim, was there just after it happened.
This is what happened. All the journalists were here together. It's a type of safety measure. This is to make sure that both the resistance and Israel know that we are journalists and in one location. I can clearly say that we, the journalists, were targeted on purpose. We were far from the confrontations. The confrontations are up this hill over the horizon where the fires are. This spot is where the journalist was. All of the journalists were wearing the safety kit. They all had the press slogan on their chest and cars. This car behind me, the one that is totally damaged, is the Al Jazeera car. The Al Jazeera crew was inside this car. My colleagues were transferred to hospitals. Reporter Carmen Joukhadar and cameraman Eli Brakhya. One other cameraman was killed. Journalists were killed and injured while doing their work.
Palestinian authorities in Gaza say 70 civilians were killed as